Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Yay! I get to ask you anything. Yay!
Ask me anything.
And I will. Hey, girl, Kellee.
Hi, honey.
Hello,
I'm so
Kellee.
glad
Good
you're
to see
on
you.
tonight. So great to see you
Feels
too.
like old times.
Totally old times in an odd time.
And an odd time. But there's only the right time. So hey.
It's the right time. Well,
Hi,
James,
everybody in the webs and the
I was
comments.
gonna say, let's say hi to some people. Hi, Melissa.
And Margaret, Leslie,
Hi,
Dee,
Mrs.
Bailey.
Chimo. Hi, Renee Rossiter. She says, I miss your energies together.
Yes,
I
so
know.
free.
So true. Oh
You've been
my
busy
gosh.
working on things, and we're gonna let you know we have things working on.
We do. Yeah, we have a big announcement, but you've been working on a lot of amazing things, James. Amazing things.
Yeah, I've developed a TV show, so we'll see if they'll go. I have to go next week and see if they'll be sold. We'll do that whole Hollywood thing, which is always very interesting, as you know.
Yeah.
And, a TED Talk asked me to work on a TED Talk, so I'm doing that and writing my book. And what else am I? I'm doing another podcast. And what else am I doing? I think that's a lot of other stuff. Who knows? Maybe
That's a lot of
moving.
stuff. Oh, well, that's all a lot right there.
Yeah, realtors look at my house today. That was fun. Yeah.
Oh my, you have been busy.
I had my computer guy here. Been very busy. Plus, I still have my friend Peter living here, who's on his 13th round of chemotherapy. So he's doing very well.
Wow.
And,
Hi, Peter.
Yeah. So
Wow.
things are busy, and you've been busy as well.
I've been very busy. Yeah. It's been a real interesting time. I tell you that.
Yeah. We have been together for 2 months on the video, I guess around 2 months, probably, right?
It's been about 2 months. Yeah.
About 2 months. So yeah, it's been time to straighten things out, get things. Yeah, it's been changes, everybody, to get things going. God bless Peter. Wow, look at this full house.
Full house. I mean,
a very interesting time, Kellee.
Oh Lord. And when that's what we're going to talk about, it is a real, we're in between two eclipses right now.
What does that mean when you say that? Because
eclipses mean change and changing points. An eclipse energy starts a week or two before the first eclipse, which the first eclipse was September 7th.
Yeah,
and the second, we all felt that. And the next eclipse is September 21. So eclipse, we're right smack on 9/11, in the middle of two eclipses. Wow, so eclipse energy is intense. Haven't you felt this kind of wave of energy?
Oh, it hasn't. It hasn't stopped. And we've talked many times. Like, Kellee, what's happening? Because it does feel like a centrifuge. It feels like completely going around. And some days it feels like we're stuck in quicksand. And it's just weird. And I just find that it's just, thank God I have Pearl, because I hang out with her and she grounds.
She's so grounding for you, right?
Yeah, it brings me joy. And I go to the dog parks and I don't do a lot as far as going out into the public. I don't want to. I want to stay, in my house. I'll go to Target or go to a grocery store, and that's it. I did go to the Padres game 2 weeks ago.
You did?
I went to a Padres game.
What was that like? Did you have a beer and a hot dog?
I had a beer. I had lemonade, actually. I had a lemonade. And no, the lemonade was $20. So it was fun. It was I went with my friend Aaron from the dog park, and it was great, except the 7-year-old boy or girl sitting behind her screaming, "Let's go Padres," the whole time.
That's what they do at a game. Yeah.
Well, just got to enjoy that. That child's having such a great time. So we got to let that child enjoy. So it's good. We're going back next week. We're going back again next week. It's their final game of the season. Yeah. So hey, it's a ride here on the coast. It's a train ride. You go down to the stadium, and it's Petco Park, which is a beautiful stadium. And they support animals. And what I'm trying to get them to do, they have a big screen TV there, a big screen, huge screen, and they do a lot of show the people in the stands and so forth. And I really want them to start showing animals who need homes. So I'm writing
great idea.
And I'm writing to them saying, please use this time for these 40,000 people, whatever, that this is a perfect time at Petco Park to help the animals. So that's
just brilliant idea.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Seems obvious.
It does, but boy, would that be helpful.
I'll just point it out. So these eclipse changes. So between I don't know how to turn off my my Wendy Walker. I don't know how to turn off my alerts. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So between those two eclipses, the
Mhm.
changes that happen in between those 2 points, do they stay in those periods from beginning to end, or do they continue on?
Oh no, the energy will build and build and build, and then the energy of change is building right now. So we're in an area of great energy moving, and in between now and 6 months, this energy will be affecting a lot of people. The change that we probably are going to talk about tonight,
It was
because
horrible about Charlie Kirk. That was just unbelievable. That
it was
happened.
awful. Well, James, it was really strange when I was writing out my things about uh, some of the predictions that I saw, and this was 3 days ago. I was writing them out, and I actually wrote the word assassinations with an S, with a plural. I wrote that out, and then
Yeah.
it was.
I think you're right. I think there'll be more, and I think you remember
Mhm.
I keep on going back to when I was shaving. I thought about this. I was thinking about it a lot when you say, you said maybe 2 years ago on our show or 3 years ago when we talked about transformation, and I think it was Jupiter and this or that. You'll maybe remember more than I will. And you said there's going to be some major changes, and they don't. Was it Jupiter or Saturn? Don't
It was
take the
actually Pluto, and it was Pluto coming into the United States and really changing
and you said
everything.
it doesn't take prisoners. It's done. It's gone.
It's
It's happening.
done.
So
Yeah,
that's
it's
exactly what's
exactly
happening.
right. Yeah,
And that
yeah,
was
and
2
that's
years
where we
ago.
are right now. It was about 2 years ago,
Yeah, and
but
you
that's
predicted
this
that.
energy. Yeah,
That's
this is
exactly right, Kelly. Will it ever
completely
change?
changed.
Will it ever change?
No, and I'll tell you what's going to happen, James. It will go into a change of consciousness. It'll make a shift in consciousness. So if you can imagine, it's bringing things up, and it's this energy of chaos. And in fact, it was interesting because Gail Lindsay McDade wrote a question, and she said, "Do you think the assassination yesterday will bring balance or chaos?" It will bring chaos, and
It'll bring
violence
chaos before
begets
balance.
chaos. Yeah,
And it's the worst thing possible. And I was
yeah.
thought immediately when I heard the news and my sometimes you hear about the shooting, and they say, and the first thought, forgive the shooter because God knows that person's gonna, and I think it's an opportunity to forgive and hopefully not to be, because a lot of news people, it's like against the Democrats, against the Republicans, just like
Right.
stop already.
Right,
It's
exactly.
a horrible thing to do, and
Awful.
violence begets violence, as you say. And we got to
Mhm.
think of the opposite way and start thinking love and love. People can have their own opinions. It should be, and people should be allowed to have their opinions. I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
Exactly.
But just send love. And when you want to say something angry, think of love. You don't know the circumstances of people's lives. We never know them. So why can we judge others? And I think there's a really opportunity now for forgiveness and love. And all of us here are light workers, or otherwise we would not be in this space. And we need to spread that, whether it's conversations we have at the grocery store with friends, just love. Just keep it in that level. Don't be angry. Don't be, just keep it at the higher level. Well, we don't know. Let's just love.
Well, and that's a great thing that you're saying, because light workers have that ability. When everybody is saying, "What can I do? What can I do about this?" You can actually send out love. That's
That's why we came
great.
back. That's why we all came
Absolutely.
back, right? I mean,
Absolutely. Because this will have a huge impact on the world, a
yeah,
huge impact.
Kelly, I think you're 100% right with the assassinations. And like I said before, remember I said the Israeli guy
You did.
yeah, and I think there'll be more European. I think it's going to be a whole slew of things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
I
We
also
have,
think there's going to be a third party will be formed. I do. And I think it'll be an independent party. I think it'll be a little bit of both. It's going to be change. Everything's going to change as far as,
yeah.
as far as our legal system, our government. It's going to change because they're finding there are holes, there are this. And it's just getting too extreme, both sides. It's just too extreme.
Oh, it's so extreme that it has to change. It has to, because we're in that energy of changing right now. And that's the second eclipse affects, it's in Virgo. In Vedic astrology, it's in Virgo. And the second eclipse is September 21st. And what happens with this particular eclipse has to do with health and relationships, because of the nakshatra that it's on, James. And that it's relationships have you noticed, and I've seen so much of this, so many people are getting divorced, and then on the opposite side, so many people are getting married now. It's the weirdest thing. Have you noticed this at all?
I don't socialize, so I really haven't noticed.
Okay.
I have noticed some of my friends, because I don't have many, but there are some that have just found their mates for first time looking for one. and they're jumping into it very quickly. And
Right.
they ask me, I'm like, daddy, and I'm like, I just step back, and that's their thing. But I'm there, the counsel. But I notice I'm moving very quickly into it. That's for sure.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So this is a period of time
Is it a
that we'll have.
safety net for them? Is it a safety net?
Yeah, it's a safety net. And it's people that maybe never experienced it before. Maybe they never experienced real love before. That could be it. Or also, though, I'm seeing just the opposite of people have had enough and they're getting divorced. I've seen so much of that. And this eclipse brings that on.
Does it? Okay.
Because I'll tell you what it does, James, is it brings a change. People start thinking like they have their own belief systems and they start coming out with their own thoughts now. And I think it's going to cause a lot of openness, but a lot of divorces.
So it's the whole thing about healing. You got to go through the muck, and you got to all that stuff has come to the surface to be healed. Yeah. So all that muck and that imbalance and all those neuroses all has to come up to be looked at and to be healed. And and a lot of people I find a lot of people are impatient. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Impatient with each other. They want to hear each other communicate. A lot of impatience going on there. But also, Kellee, it doesn't have to do with the quickness and the quickening of the planet. I mean, I heard vibrationally right now that it's the quickest it's been ever. That this Earth is vibrating.
That so resonates with what I just got chills when you said that. It feels like it's going faster and faster.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Right? And maybe that's what this quickening is that you're talking about in relationships.
There was a guy on last night. I don't know if you've seen it. The man, I think it's George. So he was an Air Force guy, and he was a whistleblower for the UFOs. And he's a great interview. And I'm looking him up. He's a brilliant guy. And he talked about quantum physics. And he was talking in this documentary on it. UFOs it was on Netflix. And it was just about how it's a different level of vibration. And so I think coming up, we're going to be open to that experience as well, as far as consciousness and different levels of consciousness. Among this stuff, we're going to be, like you say, to change your consciousness. There's going to be awareness of quantum physics. There's going to be aware. I think science is becoming much closer to spirituality. I know that's going to happen because I'm involved in that. But I know that that's going to be the way that UFOs have been with us forever. And people are finally going to accept it in the mainstream because they say, oh, wow, there are other forms of life. There are other forms out there. This Earth. So we're going to find out more of those discoveries, I think, in science. And I think among this crudiness, there's going to be more acceptance and things that we never expected.
Well, it's funny you would say that because at the same time as the solar eclipse, we have the outer planets. And the outer planets are the ones that change the consciousness of the planet. Of Earth. So it's Pluto is an outer planet, Uranus is an outer planet, and Neptune is an outer planet. And at this stage, James, and for the next several months, each planet, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, is at 7 degrees. Each one is at 7 degrees. 7 is a spiritual number.
Exactly. And what are they signs are they in?
Well, I'll tell you, Pluto is, and they're all retrograde right now. So
of course they are.
Of course they are.
It's a constant retrograde. That's what we feel like.
Oh my God. Pluto in Vedic astrology is in Capricorn. Uranus is in Taurus. So expect
Taurus signs.
Wow. Well, I expect a lot of surprise earthquakes, surprise weather.
I literally wrote down land breaks.
That's it.
Taurus was physical, so there'll be a lot of land breaks.
Land breaks. There you go. And then Neptune is in Pisces, and floods, and they're all retrograde at 7 degrees. So it changes the mass consciousness, as we go forward, and it will bring unusual things on Earth. So we're in an unusual time. The other thing that I really think is important to note also is that we have Mars, which is the planet of war, aggression, intense weapons. It actually is going tomorrow. It moves into Libra, and Libra wants peace. Libra wants balance. It's the diplomacy, and Mars is in its detriment, which means it does not. It's the worst place for Mars to be, and it hates being in Libra. And so I think we're going to see diplomacy shattered in different countries. I do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to be the bearer of bad news for everybody, but the reality is that, there's an opening for us to be assaulted in this country too from foreign forces. No doubt. I think there's going to something happen. Not sure where, but it's going to be an explosion. Like it.
Well, it's interesting because today is 9/11. We're talking about this on 9/11. To have an assassination, the day before 9/11. I mean, think about that. In between these energies of these eclipses, it's a rough time.
And the thing which you've said before, which is really important for everybody to remember, is that we've chosen to come back at this particular time. Before we came back to the physical, we set up this plan with our guides and teachers, and we chose the bodies, we choose the families, we choose the events in order for us to grow and to expand and to learn and to teach and to heal. So these things in the physical, which are really difficult stuff, will push us. If we do it the right way, if we do it with love, it'll push us. We try to get more understanding. The worse it gets, the better we should be. Okay? The worse it gets, the better we should be. And I'm talking about your spiritual self. This is where your spiritual self
be your best self is what you're saying.
Be your best self. So I did this TED Talk, and one of the last things I spoke about, which is really interesting because Spirit gave me it. And you've heard me say this before, but I said, the spirit world gave me this philosophy to live by. And I'm going to share it with everybody, which is make this earth a better place than you found it. You've heard me say before. And it's true. Now is an opportunity for things are going to happen, everybody.
It's the opportunity.
It's the opportunity we've been waiting for. And that's just, empathy is going to be big. We have to a lot of empathy. We got a lot of caring, compassion, care for other people, like
kindness
like yours. I can't tell you, every day, we've talked about this many times, I say something positive and loving, and I went to Social Security yesterday. Yes, it's true. Social Security office. That's a good one.
How was that?
What's always an experience, right? This dealing with everything. So I went on the phone a week before they said, oh, you're 10-minute wait, which everyone loves that, right? It was an hour wait. So, of course, I don't get upset about it because I have other things to do, and emails, whatever. And this gentleman gets on the phone an hour later. I said, hi. And he goes, hello, this is James. Yes. And I said, I waited not 10 minutes, I said, but an hour. And he was, oh, I'm sorry. But they said, oh, that's great. You have a great voice. And you have a great voice. I said, thank you for taking the call. And he said, James, I'd love to help you. I really would. But you have to come to the office. I said, okay. I'll do that. He goes, make an appointment for you. Yes, made an appointment for me. Went yesterday or the day before, and I'm sitting there. I got my number, and I was fine. I was reading, and 20 minutes went by. They called my number, and I went to this window, and this young lady said, Miss Van Praagh, says, and where were you born? I said, I'm from New York. And she goes, me too. I said, I'm from Queens. She goes, Bronx. I said, Bronx. I had some friends, Puerto Rican friends I used to hang out with all the time. She goes, I'm Puerto Rican. We got along so well. And she said, thank you for coming in today. I said, thank you for being here. So you open up doors no matter what you're going to say. I like your smile. I like your eyes. I like what try to be nice and send out that's what we can do. And there's a rippling effect with the words. Words have energy, and it's a rippling effect. You can change someone's life like that. And just, it's the best thing to do. It's the right thing to do.
It's the antidote for what's going on now.
It's the antidote.
We have to do this. We have to be kind. We have to be good. We have to be compassionate.
I think that there's going to be eventually, too, with everything going on with our government and everything they're finding out, there's going to be a restructure of some kind. And I think there's going to be something to do, not right away, but something to do with, like, it's not the CIA, but it's like a secret kind of, they investigate secrets, or they investigate things that are hidden come into the light. But it's going to be a whole, like, agency or something. I'm not sure it's going to be this administration or whoever, but I just know that there's going to be something that's going to be formed to investigate things in a further way. And I think there's going to be a second medical, I don't know what you call it, department, or to check medical things that are science. I think that's going to happen during this administration, I think.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And Kellee, could there be a possibility of them finding out another planet or another star?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That will happen.
Of the heavenly bodies, whether it's stars or there's going to be an awareness that there's other galaxies, and I think planets, and I think that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts happening by the end of the year, like fall time, November, December.
I bet you're right. That makes that tracks with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exploration. Yeah.
It's almost like it's out there, but now they see it. Right? It's always
interesting. There. Yeah, I love that, James. Yeah. because
It's just like
that's
all around there's energy and different levels of vibration. Like this gentleman was talking, this Air Force guy talking about the UFOs. It's all these different vibrations, and that's of course how we work as mediums. And all around us, everybody are these different levels of energy, of vibrations. And I do think that there's going to be more of that awareness to that very, very soon. I think that'll be within the year. There'll be a sense of awareness of other energies. There'll be a validation of that. That I think that's going to come back. I think there's going to be a counterbalance of, if you want to call them negative, like judge those things, hard things, with spiritual things. I do think there'll be something.
well, you know, the actually, it's funny. Spirituality will really hit its peak. It will start coming back in such a big way now. I think there's going to be a giant wave of spirituality with this Neptune and Pisces. It's huge. It will make it, spirituality will be like almost a normal thing.
Because it's very funny. Mixed, traditional religions are no longer. A lot of people cannot find their answers in traditional religions, and to some that's fine. I think it's just tradition of families. But I think there's going to be the demographics now, because I know these things. We researching this for podcasts and so forth. The demographics of younger generation, 20-year-olds, whatever, they're very into. They're not traditional religions. They're into nature, natural religions, and community. And I do think there'll be. Small communities that'll be set up eventually, like living in smaller communities, and then that'll grow. But I think we're going to come back to small little pockets.
So people are coming back to smaller roots in a way.
Exactly right. And I think there'll be like-minded people, like whether it's believing in nature or plant work or whatever it might be. But I think it's going to be spiritual in many respects. And there's going to be, I just heard soul work going to be done. Oh, that's interesting. Soul work is going to be done. Isn't that an interesting way to put it?
Well, it's really important soul work, because on the planet there's been a lot of trauma. So there's a lot of soul work that needs to be done. And I think that also we're going to see a lot more plant medicine based.
I agree, 100%.
For healing.
Yeah. I think the mushrooms, whatever they call peyote, whatever, that's going to be more accepting as far as like the dispensaries. I mean, you can't go 2 blocks where I live and there's a dispensary showing up. I think it's going to be more of that, more like natural herbal remedies of things. I think that it's going to be for us, because chemicals at pharmaceutical companies is going to be too expensive, and people go for alternatives, and there are alternatives. And I think there'll be a lot of mindfulness. I think there'll be a lot of mind-body medicine. I think it's going to be really on the rise. I think that it's very interesting. When I met a girl who's doing a TED Talk, she's a psychologist. I thought of you. She's a psychologist, and she works with medicine, but she works with the brain waves, the theta waves.
I love that.
To treat psychosis, anxiety, and it's all done through brain waves and meditation, mindfulness, if you will. And it's a whole. We talked about it. She said it's a whole generation now of new students who have an awareness, a different consciousness.
And the younger generation is really looking at the traumas that their parents brought in, and they're not afraid to look at it. Like our generation really pretty much just put a cap on it, didn't talk about it.
Under the rug,
it's like, oh, nobody talks, just shut up, nobody talks. But the younger generation is the opposite. They're open, they're eager, they want to understand that what somebody went through. They want to understand why they are the way they are. Yeah, it's different.
I think I guess when you was talking about that, I saw a flashlight. And I feel like they're going to be looking into illumination of new things and new ways of doing things. And it's going to be the younger generation, 20-year-olds I think is going to be big. I also think there's going to be, I know we have podcasts and so forth, but I think there's going to be another way of communication soon. I also do think there's going to be, I don't know when it's going to happen. Could be 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. But I think will be like, what do you call it, Kelly? It's project an image like this. Remember Star Trek? When you beam me up, you'll be able to bilocate. You'll be able to travel like and bilocate somewhere else. I think that's going to happen sooner than we think. Isn't that wild?
I think everything is happening sooner than we think.
I think so.
Actually, but because AI has also brought things quickly.
That's it. It's AI. AI is just wow. It's opening things up, but in many ways, we got to be careful how to use these things.
Right. How to use the tools of everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's very true, James. Wow. What do you think about that will happen with transportation and in the airline industry?
Oh, that's interesting. It's really interesting. I don't know why, but I know it makes no more sense than anything, but I keep on seeing smaller planes.
Interesting. Okay.
I think a smaller level, and I'd almost say like regional jets. I think they'll be, believe it or not, I think they're going to be more. I want to say airports, but places to land. More of
Okay.
that. I think there's going to be. I always thought about this, and I wonder why it wasn't done, but I think it will be done. Not necessarily right away, but I do think there'll be hovercraft. I think we'll have some hovercraft, and I
Okay.
do believe that to be true. Not
Mhm.
these things to be quickly, but I think it'll be there. Hovercrafts. When I was a little boy, I used to be aware of, when you're kids, you're open to everything because you just come from the side of life. But it's very interesting because when I was a little boy, probably 4 or 5, I always would say to my mother, why are the cars on the streets? Why aren't they like floating in the air? Like the Jetsons was a big
Like the
show.
Jetsons, sure.
But I always thought there would be magnetics. As a 5 years old, that magnets would move the cars along. And I was like, why isn't this happening already? And as I grew up,
Ah,
so magnets, it would be
yeah.
transport. And I think there's going to be, Kelly. I think there's going to be two or three companies conglomerating, coming together to transport goods. I do, in trucks, or they're going to be 2 or 3 companies that own a truck thing and move it that
Right.
way. I think it's too expensive for them individually to move things. Okay, I think it's going to be.
What do you think about the financial aspect of everything right now?
I think it's going to go rough. I think it's going to be really rough. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be, things are going to be outrageously expensive as they already are, but I think it's going to be more. I just have a feeling it's going to happen. I started about a year ago to put a lot of toilet paper and rolling paper and rolling, paper towels and canned goods. And I started over a year ago because I had a feeling it's going to get really tough. And if you go into CVS now and even Target, you'll see their shelves are totally empty.
Oh
So
my
a lot more
gosh.
buying online. I think a lot more. I think there's going to, in some, there'll be I don't say a black market, but the way of getting goods, but one's got to be careful of that because I think the quality might be really bad or the contamination or something. So got to be careful.
Right. Interesting.
What do you
Interesting.
think?
Because, well, with this Mars going into Libra, what it does is it makes an increase in trade wars. So it's really kind of what you're
Oh yeah,
saying.
that'll happen. Oh sure, that'll
Yeah,
happen.
that the tariffs, there'll be more tariffs, there'll be more of this. But I will say that I do see it kind of flopping down and then getting better again. Really going down and then getting better again.
Do you think the tariffs are going to stay and that's going to work out? Because I don't think it is.
I don't think they'll work out.
I don't think it's going to be stabilized. I just don't. I just think it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be stabilized. The tariffs. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I think they're gonna try about it. They're gonna continue to try, and it's gonna put everybody at kind of in a shocking state. Because again, the next few months with these planets, it's going to be a roller coaster.
When we have World War III, which I think will be inevitable eventually, what's going to happen as far as war? Do you see astrologically?
Astrologically, I'll tell you what, we have a day coming up actually on the 24th of September. That's a really rough day. And that could bring a potential for all kinds of, sadly, some sort of a war that could begin. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It is on September 24th.
Okay.
And we're coming right into September 24th. And that is when it is a Mars squaring Pluto. So Mars squaring Pluto. And Pluto is death and transformation. And Mars is in the, and it's in Libra, it's in its detriment. It's going to, that could trigger. Mars is like a trigger point. It's like pulling a gun, and Pluto is death and transformation. So this could be actually the beginning of, freedom versus a revolutionary change. So that's a big, and it doesn't mean exactly on that day, but we're headed into that energy right after an eclipse. So I think that period that we're coming into in September changes everything. So could there be another war that begins? Could be Russia and Poland. It could be any of those things coming up right now.
I think there'll be a different alliance by the end of the year with different with different countries, and I do think, and I wish I could say more about it, but I don't know. I just know that, in the United States, I feel like, and it's funny we're doing this on 9/11, but I feel there's going to be a monument that we love that's going to be blown up. I can't tell you
in the United States.
Yep. Whether it's bombed or what, there's a monument that blows up. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not shown what it is, but I know it's a beloved monument. That's all I can get.
James, it's interesting because as mediums, and people might want to ask the question is, how come you can't see it all? Or how come you can't see all
Great
of it?
question. It's a great, well, we're early on when I was developing and I was set with Leslie Flint, the physical medium. And it was asked, and everybody should check out Leslie Flint on the internet because it's Leslie Flint, the greatest physical medium that ever lived. He passed over. I sat with him 4 times and had incredible experiences. And it was asked in one of those seances, why is it that we cannot see things in the future? You can't share with us certain aspects of things. And they said, they're veiled, they're hidden, because there are reasons you cannot know about. They're veiled. So there are reasons why maybe we obviously have to learn something or do something, or maybe it'll affect our independence.
And there are fated events. There are fated events.
There are destiny points we cannot mess with. So maybe it's part of that. So I think it's I think it's a bit of that. And like even people doing readings for certain people, whether it's an intuitive reading or a loved one comes through and they say, like, I can't say, they can't say anything to that person. My sister, when she first passed over, and you know the story, and she said to me, oh, there's going to be a war. Oh, you got to get out of there. But get out of there. I mean, get out of the body. And she couldn't, I knew that when she said that to me, there's going to be some kind of war. I knew that she was not supposed to say that. I knew that she was not supposed to say that. And I knew she had just passed over. She'd know the rules. But I knew that was not allowed. She hadn't learned that yet. And I just knew that she shouldn't be saying that. This should be hidden.
James, I had a really odd experience recently. I was working with somebody.
Every day we have odd experiences.
Every day I have a weird experience. We had some workers at our house, and one of them I knew was going to have surgery. So I walked out and I looked at his aura and I said, "You're going to be just fine. You are going to be just fine." It was major brain surgery, and I said, "You're going to be just fine." I looked at it clear as a bell. 2 days later, he has the surgery. His wife calls. It was great, and that was all good. Okay. 2 days later, another worker in our house was there, and I knew he was worried about his wife, and he was going to take his wife to go have a test. And this is what happened. I walk out. The me that's me wanted to say, "You're going to be fine." But the weirdest thing, it was a veil. It was like I got like, and I kind of walked away in a fog. Yeah. And I said to myself, I wonder why I didn't say to him that it's going to be okay. And I had to let it go. It was like a fog. His wife ended up having a heart transplant. It was not all right, but it was the weirdest story ever. So, and you've heard the story. It was so weird, but it was talk about a meant to be. And that's why I say this, that there, as a medium, we do our best, but I think your sister, when she got over there, didn't know the rules for sure. She didn't know the rules. And there are rules. But if even if it's a weird thing, because you and I both have had that kind of like, whoop, you can't go there.
Kellee, and I think as you're talking, I really get that feeling where maybe they're speaking to me. I don't know anymore because I'm so inundated with just being in nature where I live. I'm just, and I'm open. And I don't do as many readings as I used to, which is great because it builds and builds and builds and builds the power. But really, I think we're protected. I think our guides protect us. Our loved ones are around us and protect us. And as mediums, as instruments, as vessels, as empaths, we have, you are. I think you're shut down. It's hidden. You're blocked. It's blocked. However they do that, I know that. I mean, I know that to be true. I mean, it's just interesting. And there are certain things. Like people say, well, do you tell everything? Well, my agreement with the spirit world is if I get something, I can tell it. But it's up to me how I present it. Because I have to remember that someone's life is in my hands.
Right.
It's fragile. And unfortunately, mediums coming up now have no clue of this. And they do readings on Instagram. And they have no sense of that. And
well, they don't. And it's so important. Just because you have a piece of information, how you share it, or if you share it, it's there's a whole dance to it,
So there's a guy that came to my house today who's another person came to my house. There's a lot of people here. He's a handyman. He was fixing some stuff which he was working on, and he comes out of his truck and he's a great guy. He's like, Glenn, how you doing? And I could see his auric field, and it was just a lot of stuff. And I said, "You doing okay?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." I said, "Well, I know I know you have not been." And he's very private, but I kind of said, I just felt when I tuned into you the other day that things are a little rough around you, and just want you to know that I send you love every time I feel that. And he goes back at you. So, it's
Yeah, I think
you
that's a
can feel
very
people's
sweet
energy.
thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a good question. This is from Renee Rossiter. She says, do either of you see our health insurance companies begin to pay for holistic health care as a reputable choice for treatment in the near future? You go. I'll read the question. You go.
I think there'll be new insurance, if you will,
Okay.
company. I don't even call them insurance companies. I think there will be something that will help. That'll be not our companies that are already formed insurance health companies. I don't think so. They are the number one money grabbers. United Healthcare is they take the most money. It's on $90 billion a year. I think there's going to be new companies formed that'll address transformative, alternative healing. And whether it's chiropractic, whether it's yoga, mindfulness, remedy, natural remedies, I think that will happen. I think it'll be a separate company. I don't think it'll be the ones that we have established. Because there'll be a new mindset. There'll be a new consciousness. There'll be a new awareness.
Yeah.
Things will be sticky. Things will be as dirty. I think insurance companies these days are dirty and getting dirtier. And once we find out all that greed and all this comes to light, which it is, so all this stuff,
Everything will eventually come to light. Everything will. Yeah.
So things will be changed up. I think things will be changed up. Definitely. I think that, but I think there'll be new companies formed.
And a lot of new ways of healing will come out.
I think new remedies, new ways, alternative ways are going to be mainstream. I mean, right now, when you and I, mindfulness now is a big thing, and yoga is everywhere, and they're finding out blood pressure, and so many things are going on that we started with 40 years ago, and it's happening. It's happening. It's much more acceptable. I mean, I'm doing a TED talk on mediumship and life after death. That wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. Wouldn't have happened. Exactly.
This is a great so it's
totally. This is a great question. This is from Rachel Crawford. She says, I'm pregnant right now. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Are these babies coming in at this time to make big changes? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
these are wild, old, new. These are old souls that are coming in.
They're advanced souls coming in. You're bringing in advanced souls, and
that means you're advanced, Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel, that's exactly right. So then you really need to give yourself a pat in the back, and then and your partner, and welcome them, and be in joy. Welcome them in a space of joy, and that they know what's happening. It's so interesting. My friend Jason from Phoenix, I was talking to him yesterday, asking about, I'm like his surrogate dad, and he has new girlfriends, so he has to ask my approval. So we're talking about things, and he goes, did I ever tell you my pre-birth experience? I said, I don't remember. And he said, yeah, he was in some kind of a chamber, and he was in this room, and there was a table, and there were 3 people sitting here, and 3 people sitting there. He was at the top, and there was, I guess, his teachers or guides, he said, and he was able to go through a chart of picking out the various events that were going to happen in his new life, and the body, the look of the body, either blonde hair or dark hair. You have these parents or adopted parents, and he went this whole thing. And he goes, and I remember I knew that I'd pick the blonde. It would be a different type of life I'd have, and the dark. And he goes, then I don't remember anything else. And he came back blonde, and he's had an interesting life, and he's very spiritual. And
isn't that interesting? He remembers it.
He remembers that. So before we're born, we go through what's called the valley of forgetfulness, where we start with a clean slate and we come here, because if we remembered old lifetimes and things we've done, so we'd be so obsessed about that we would do our work this time. So it's a new time here. But that's advanced souls are coming. New advanced souls are coming in. Who else?
Totally.
This is crazy to be able to deal with this.
Well, exactly. But we need them. We need the advanced souls to come in at this time. We really do need them to come in.
As weird as it is, and I have to go back to this. I think I know it sounds so strange, but I wrote about this in my very first book, Talking to Heaven, and I still think it's true. And I know it sounds weird, but I think there are no accidents. Even though it seems like things are crazy, I think there's something, we got to remember that the universe, that that intelligence changes the seasons, the planet moves. I mean, the air we breathe. I mean, there's a bigger intelligence here. And I've got to think that intelligence knows what's going down in the spaceship Earth, that, this play down here, it's not an easy play. It's a necessary for growth. But, when you consider there are millions of universes and places, this is one of so many. And we got to do the best. This is one of the hardest ones. But one of the ones we can advance the most from. And that's the only way is through love. And we have these hard, difficult times, difficult situations, difficult people in our lives to teach us what not to be, maybe what to be, maybe to help someone, maybe to aspire to something.
Right, James. It's so true. That's our job.
That's what
It's to help people,
you
to
signed up.
remember their song. We signed up for this. Wanda Mann says, are there any virus like COVID coming, or are we done with that type of thing? Well, Wanda, let me say this. Let me just say this about that. That
Kellee and I
eclipse.
speak about this stuff,
Oh, mama. So that on that September 21st, we have a solar eclipse. It happens to be, interesting enough, in Virgo, and Virgo is a sign of health. And so, having said that, there could be, if not a virus, the flu season will probably be pretty radical. Is what I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I was just seeing lungs, like, and I listen. I
Mhm.
got double pneumonia, so I understand the weakness.
Well, and we had COVID together.
And we had COVID together.
Together, buddies. Literally together at the hospital together.
When you walked to CVS and you started screaming, and what were you saying? That medicine which I saw in my bathroom.
Yeah.
What-
I was like, we need Paxlovid. Give us Paxlovid. And they're like, we don't have any. Like, oh, we're done for it.
that was my 60th birthday.
No. Oh, yeah, 65th.
Yes, we're on a cruise in
65th.
Alaska.
Yeah.
My
65.
65.
Yes, I was at your party at 60.
Yeah, because
We've been through a lot. Yeah,
right. That's where I almost croaked. That's right. Yeah,
exactly.
I got double pneumonia, and then and then I did a tour throughout Europe. Got sicker.
That's when you got sicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that is something that could absolutely,
Yeah, I think airways, lungs. I think oxygen. I see that could happen. That could happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's and
And
Margaret
also,
says she
there's gonna
remembers
be-
dancing with you on your birthday, James.
Oh yes, I remember that, Anne Margaret. And then there's going to be also, I think, it's very, very interesting. Things happen for a reason, of course. I think there'll be another. It's so interesting, an insect that we're going to find that's creating a virus. We have mosquitoes, but it's something else, whether it's from the Amazon or from Africa. I just feel it's going to come here. I think it's going to be interesting. Now, this is fascinating because I always look around and see what's going on in my life. Like, what does this mean? I don't overdo it being the Virgo, but I'm aware of something meaning something else.
Yeah.
So about 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, I noticed a bee at my water valve, right? And then there were several bees. Now there's a swarm of bees. And so I had to call a beekeeper, and she's coming over tomorrow to remove this huge, all you see are bees. And I spoke to her. Her name's Rose, a lovely lady. And she said, well, the problem is, and do you make honey? She goes, yes, I have honey. And she goes and she takes the hives and she helps. But she said, the African bees are really bad. And she goes, it's when the African bees have gotten together with the U.S., the domestic bees, they create something really not good. So what she does is she goes to the DNA of the comb and the honey and extracts the bad stuff and keeps the good stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's actually the African bees. And the moment you said that, something feels like it's going to come here in the domestic world here. There's going to be some kind of an insect that creates something.
And I didn't tell you this, but like 3 nights ago, I had a dream about a bee. It was a big bumblebee just staring at me. So I can't believe you're saying this.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Yeah, I'll take a picture.
Okay.
Because
where is it in your house? Is it out?
It's right by the side of my house, and it's right by a lemon tree.
Oh,
And
I love your lemon trees.
The water valves are there, and they need the water.
Sure.
Here, so they go in there. And I love bees, but then she said, they're African bees, and I couldn't ooh, okay, then you need it. And so she's I'm gonna go tomorrow with her. She might give me a whole suit to go on, but put the suit on and do it with her because I think it'd be fascinating. And
you are a good sport.
What the heck?
You'll try anything.
I'll try anything. She steams them. She puts this smoke there that smokes them out, and it lulls them to sleep.
Yeah.
She removes it. But it'd be really interesting to find out what the African bees look like, what the regular bees, American bees look like. I mean, it'd be fascinating to know more. So I'll tell you when I find out.
I can't wait. I'm glad I'm far away.
On that front.
More to come on that front.
When I did the show Ghost Whisperer, we used the bee. It was a symbol of eternal life. So when you look at Ghost Whisperer at the beginning and the credits, I researched it, and the bee represents eternal life and spirituality. So that's what we use the Ghost Whisperer. So that's very interesting.
I love that. I think that's amazing. So let's talk about what you have going on before we make our grand announcement, because you have.
Okay, September 25th. I'm doing I don't do many of these. I do one once a month, maybe. I do a spirit communication, so a mediumship demonstration. So I'll be doing that, and that's going to be open to people. I think we limit it, so it'd be limited.
Okay.
And I work differently each time. I'm telling people to bring. This worked last time really, really well. I have everybody bring a picture of their loved one or bring an item of theirs, and it's so fascinating. Last time it was some kind of I think it was a watch, something, and the spirit talked about the history of the watch with that they had with it and why they left it to the daughter. So it's really, really. Oh, there it is, right there.
There it is. Oh my gosh! So people can go to your website and click on this, and they can go to the Evening of Spirits of Messages. I think that's lovely. Oh my gosh! Wow.
And I've been sitting here not working, so I'm building up this energy, this power. So I look forward to that night, Evening of Spirit. It's going to be great. It changes lives, as you know.
Oh, it does. It does. Oh my gosh. Okay. I also have a couple of things coming up. I have
coming up, Kellee.
I have the Power of 10 this Saturday, and I've got 2 spots open. So if anybody wants to join me this Saturday, it's a group of 10. It's always extraordinary, and it's so much fun, and everybody gets messages from the other side or whatever their information they're needing. So it's always.
You also have openings for readings, like private.
I have
readings.
openings in September, and this month I'm open for readings. So go to my website.
I'm open to reading with Kellee. Boy, your life will change. So you should grab that. Because
thank you.
Yeah, well, I know.
Oh my gosh. And I also have, do you remember Shauna McDonald, our friend Shauna, who owns the crystal shop in Burbank?
Yes, of course.
I've
known her for a long time.
You've known her a long time. Well, Shauna and I are teaching a class on unusual crystals.
Oh, that's great.
Unusual crystals on
The two of you
October
together,
11th.
Forget it. Wow.
Right? Oh my God. And I also, James, started an app, which is a subscription app. It's called, it's actually called Whispers of the Soul. But every other Friday, I do a somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And we can sit and have a cocktail or a glass of water or whatever you want. And then
I got to join you. We have to have a cup of a glass of water.
Please join us because it's so fun. We talk about the week and what kind of week did you have, and that kind of thing.
I didn't know you were doing that.
I'm doing that. Yeah, you're going to be one of my guests, which I'm really excited about. So we also have a big announcement. James, do you want to announce our big announcement?
Well, okay. Well, Kellee and I have worked together for 2 months, and we're figuring things out and schedules and new content and doing things differently. So Kellee and I are going to come back and do a podcast together. and
Yay!
Podcast. And it's called You Are the Universe.
You in the Universe.
You in the Universe.
You in the Universe.
And Kellee told the rest of it.
Conversations that heal, inspire, and awaken. And think of it as a place where we've got psychology and spirituality coming together.
So it'll be a little different than our other show, but it'll include a lot of the same similar things, but different talking points and maybe different guests and different. Yeah, it'll be great. And I'm just going to open up more to spirit. So when we're talking, maybe
we'll be doing readings too.
Readings will be great. We'll do we'll do readings for people, and so it'll be really. You tell people about it, everybody. And when is our premiere is?
Well, our premiere, and everybody, we're moving from Monday night to a Tuesday night. Okay, and premiere is October 14th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So October 14th is our big opening night at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
It's going to be fun. It's going
to be so fun, and I'm so excited about this.
We've missed working with each other, but
I know totally. And I think everybody's absolutely. It's going to be so fun. I'm so excited about it. So let's see what else. Oh, everybody says they're looking forward to it. It starts on October 14th. October 14th. Yes. Tuesdays at 7 Central. Yes. Hi, Lori Young. Yeah, it's going to be You in the Universe, which is going to be. And
there'll be a lot of universal topics in you.
And we'll be talking about all kinds of things. But you and I have always had sacred conversations. I mean, we don't just call and say hello. How you doing? What's going on?
We really I think You in the Universe will be ways of helping you to assist everybody living life. That we've found ways of working and methods. As things get difficult or hard, we can look at different ways of doing things, and we'll explore all that sort of thing.
James, you always have an uplifting, positive attitude, no matter what. And we've all. It's true. You do. You're always upbeat. You always feel. You make people feel better and loved and comforted, and you're just that way.
The thank you. The handyman that came today when I asked him who he was, he goes, okay. He goes, it's better than, and how are you? I said, I'm good. And he goes, it's better than being underground, 6 foot underground. I said, Well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
I forgot who I was talking to.
That's just very funny. Yes, you can see
Gotta
it
be
on
positive.
Facebook.
Gotta try.
You have to. You can see it, Gayla, on Facebook, or you can see it on YouTube.
Yeah,
And then
YouTube.
it'll be also done as a podcast too. So everything we do will be on as a podcast.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot now with Instagram. I'm doing a lot of. Next week will be a whole bunch of different things on Instagram and videos.
Good. And you're
Contests.
doing TikTok too.
Doing
You've
TikTok.
got a lot of stuff on TikTok.
Instagram. Yeah, a lot. Tomorrow I'm doing a full day of videos for everything, and and I'm doing my garden. I'm gonna have I just started doing my garden tour, so I had 2 people today who took around the garden. These ladies who wanted to see this, and I said okay, and I did, and they were just blown away. So I'm gonna be showing that on Instagram and TikTok, and
It's
videos.
really spectacular. I mean, how were your peaches this year?
The peaches were great. They're over now, but they were fantastic. They're white peaches. They're fantastic. And the avocados were good. Then they went bad fast. I don't know why. But it's starting now. Pomegranate season starting.
I love pomegranates.
Pomegranates, yeah.
I actually know how to cut them open now.
You're a chef.
I know, but it was one of those things that always made me uncomfortable because it makes a big splash everywhere, and you get the everywhere. But anyway, I love pomegranates.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And as soon as I can, Kelly, I'll come out to visit you.
Oh my God, would you please?
Yeah, because the house is finished, right?
Our house is very close to finished, James. There's nothing that I would want more. Please come. Come anytime.
Chicago.
You can find a Madison or Chicago. Either way, I'll come pick you up. And in fact, I'm going to be doing. You should join us for with Jen Weigel. We're going to be doing All Souls like the second week in November in Wisconsin.
Really?
Go figure.
I was going to be in Mexico, but not anymore. Okay.
Yeah, no. Don't go to Mexico. Although I do love it. And Carla, you'll be there too. I know that. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, everybody's looking forward to seeing your pictures of your garden.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, dragon fruit. I have dragon fruit. That's an interesting fruit.
There's your friend Nadine from Vienna.
Nadine. Hi, Nadine. Thank you for the flowers for my birthday. She sent lovely, lovely flowers for my birthday. Thanks, Nadine. You're so sweet. And love you. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh.
Kelly, it's good to see you again.
It's great to see you, and I'm really looking forward to our show and together. It's really going to be wonderful. And also, everybody, if you have any ideas for our show, put them out there so we can see them.
Share them.
Sometimes some of our best shows come from your ideas.
It's true. It's very, very true. So help us out.
Yeah, help us out, and we'll figure this out. This will be great. A lot of people, James, are going to All Souls. So
I see that. Fun. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, come on, that'll be fun.
And that's Chicago or Madison?
Closer to Milwaukee, actually.
Milwaukee.
Closer to Milwaukee. Oh,
never
I like Milwaukee. I like it a lot, actually.
I always think of my friend Cindy Williams.
Oh my God, that's right. And you got married at Cindy's house.
I got married at Cindy's house.
I saw the pictures. You did.
And a good friend is Paul Williams, the composer.
Yeah.
And I was watching a movie last night. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Friends of mine told me to watch it, and I was sitting there watching it like, and Paul Williams was in it, and he was 19 years old. And it's called Your Loved One, The Loved One. Done in 1965. John Gielgud. It's about the funeral world, and it had Jonathan Winters was in it.
I love Jonathan Winters.
Oh, great. It was an interesting movie. I gotta say, they filmed it in LA at some Doheny Mansion and different. It's about the funeral business. Very interesting. If you haven't seen it, The Loved One. Kind of creepy. Liberace's in it. It's
this way goes back.
Milton Berle. Oh yeah.
Way back.
I dreams of Milton Berle all night. I was like, what am I doing? The Loved One. Anyway, I talked to Paul Williams. I know Paul, and I said, I saw you in this movie, and I was so happy to see you. He's talking about a happy guy, always being happy. Paul Williams that way. And
I remember him as being very kind.
Very kind. Virgo, September 19th.
Oh my God, right before me.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's right. Nice man. So we just connected again, which is very sweet.
Oh,
yeah. A Star is Born. We did the Evergreen for A Star is Born. He won an Academy Award for that. Remember Barbara Streisand?
Of course.
Evergreen. That was.
He was prolific.
Very prolific. And the reason I was sort of writing music was because he couldn't get roles in movies.
Oh, wow.
Very spiritual man. Very lovely man.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Crystal wants to know, how's Pearl?
She's sitting right here. Pearl, you want to say?
How young is Pearl now? Is she 3?
Pearl. Where's Pearl?
Oh, hi. Oh, look at that beautiful girl. Hey, Pearl.
She doesn't leave my side. We don't leave each other's side. She's 3 and 6 months. 3 and 6 months.
Oh.
Yeah, bring her to the dog park every day, and we have a great time. Unfortunately, it's a very codependent relationship, and it's a codependent
It
relationship.
happens. I think all of us can understand that.
So now I have to go out and play bowling with her, so I need to go.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, James, for being on tonight. And thanks, everybody. And we look forward to seeing everybody on October 14th. Don't forget, at 5 p.m. Central Time. And check out our websites. All right. Take care, my friend. I love you, James. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Bye.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.